How are you? I just realized I don't know if I silenced my phone, so hopefully no one will call us um, in the middle of our live video here. All right, let me get this up on my computer so that I can actually start watching for any comments that might be out there. But I hope you guys are all able to craft along. So that is what I'm hoping for, that you'll be able to kind of craft along with us. Okay, so let's get started. I think you'll be able to see what we're going to do. But we are going to make a gift bag, and then we're also going to make a card. But I wanted to start thinking, if you guys have some 12 by 12 designer series paper, you needed 2 sheets, and if you have 6 by 6, I'll give you the measurements for those too. But this is what we're going to make actually. We are going to make this adorable gift bag here. Isn't that cute? And look at it, it cinches shut. And then when you open it, you can open it up and just move this out of the way, and you can put all your, whatever your gift giving is, and then just tighten these up, oops, like that. And it closes right back up again. It is just lovely. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I thought we would do that, and it's a great way, like I said, to use your to use some of your paper that you might have. Now the sheets, your 2 pieces of designer series paper should look the same. If they don't, it's totally no big deal. It would just be one side would look one way and then the other side would look different, but you know, that's not bad, right? That could be a little eclectic. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to use this directional paper. Like I look at this, and this looks like it would be going kind of the horizontal, where this way it looks like it's correct. It's the correct layout. So the other side, it doesn't really matter. So just make sure when you measure that there's only 2 measurements, all right? There is, and let me show you what they are. So I wrote them down for you. So let me pull this in, and hopefully you guys can see these. Okay, this is always a little scary. I'm gonna zoom in, try to zoom in, and then I'll just try to remember to zoom back out. So depending on the size of paper you have, so we're gonna use 12 by 12. So you are gonna score at 2 inches on one place, and then on the other 3 sides, you're gonna score at 3 inches, 3 inches, and 3 inches. So 2 measurements. The 2-inch side, just so you know, is the part that's gonna be at the top. So for this directional paper, I'm gonna turn it this way, okay, and mark it at 2 inches, because this piece is gonna be folded down like that, okay? If you're using a piece of 6-inch paper, let me get this over here, it's gonna be 3/4 inch, and then the other 3 sides are each 1.5. All right, so let's go ahead and we will get started. And then this is just showing us how we need to cut the paper, which I will go through all of that with you as well. All right, so let's start. So if you're doing this on your paper trimmer, that's totally fine. You will score your first, so check your direction. So we're gonna score the top first. So so this is the top. So we're gonna score it at 2 inches, all right? So that's the top of our bag. Now I'm just gonna turn it 90 degrees, and I'm gonna score it now at 3 inches. And again, we're just rotating it, and you're gonna score it at 3 inches again. And then one more time. So 2 inches at the top, 3 inches on all the other sides. And that's it. Now let me, oops, you know what? I'll see what I mean. I forgot to, let me get this back up so you guys can actually see. Let's see here. It's, it doesn't, there we go. There we go. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I forgot to move it back. All right, so let's do it again, okay, with our next piece of paper. So we have, again, 2 inches, and then all the other sides were 3 inches. And we're gonna bring our piece back over. Now remember, my paper's going, this is kind of the top, the way it looks, so I'm gonna move it over this way, okay? And then I'm gonna score it again at 2 inches. Again, if you're using your paper trimmer, you're going to put that at 2 inches. Then you're just going to take your paper out, put it back in your trimmer, and then you're going to do 3 inches on each of the other sides. Okay. So we're just rotating 90 degrees and 3 inches on each side. And I think I got them all. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of our scoreboard out of the way, or if you have a paper trimmer, you can move that out of the way. And now all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to fold, and I'm just going to kind of burnish those edges, those score lines. Now this is designer series paper, right? So sometimes we just don't want to, we want to just kind of go lightly. Now I will tell you as I'm taking and folding each piece, making sure it's lined up though, okay? Sometimes when you score, I don't know if that ever happens to you guys, I score and I'm a little quick, and so then when I'm actually lining it up, I end up scoring it and the paper's not even. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, so that's that piece. And then we're going to bring in the other one. So while you're finished cutting, or if you're just watching, you can choose sit and enjoy, and then you can try this on your own. It is so, it is such a fun little bag to make. And the thing I like about it, and hopefully you guys saw that in the book, there's a whole bunch of sizes you can make. So I'm going to show you another one. I didn't put a string in it yet, but here, let me just show you. It's so little. Look at that. Isn't that cute? So you could put like just a little piece of candy in there. The other thing I thought, and I think this is not even the smallest one, but I thought you could put a piece of string around here, and if you have like a child or grandchild's like school picture, you could put that on the outside, and then on the back you could stamp something with 2023, and you could put that on the tree. And maybe put something special that they made inside. I thought that would make such an adorable ornament. I mean, in Christmas colors, of course. Not purple. I mean, you could do purple too, right? But anyhow, I loved it. I loved it. So I'm doing a boxes and bags bingo night, although I think it's during the day, on December 9th. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. So we might actually be making this bag. Okay, so now what we're going to do, so you should have both pieces of paper scored and kind of burnish the edges. So now what we're going to do, so that we don't forget what side is what, we're actually going to glue this piece down. And I found if we do that first, it just makes it a little bit easier for us to figure everything else out. All right, and you're going to do that to both pieces. So figure out what paper you want on the outside, or yeah, on the outside, and then what side you want to be the border. So if you can see our bag here, this would be our border, okay? Which means this is going to be the whole pattern of our bag here, okay? And then all you're going to do is use whatever adhesive you would like to use, and you are just going to put the adhesive around the top there and fold it over and just give it a good press on this side. And then we're going to take our same piece and do the exact same thing. You're just going to fold it over, and then you're going to put adhesive on it. Now, when we actually like glue the sides together, and you know, for your first one, I like using Tombow glue. I do think it gives it a nice, I don't know, an extra layer almost, I feel like. But if you don't use that, tear and tape is nice. Even the Stampin' Seal Plus is really good because it's pretty hardy. So, but whatever you have, you know. Okay, now, so this is what you should have. 2 sheets of paper, whatever size you chose to use. Again, let me just pull this in. If you did 6 inches, or you have 6-inch paper, it would be 3/4 and then 1.5, 1.5, 1.5 on both sheets. All right. Okay, I just want to make sure that we have that. Okay, now you're going to take one of the pieces and you're going to grab your scissors. Okay. By the way, Stampin' Snips are awesome. They're very sharp. They're great for ribbon. But when you're cutting this paper, it is nicer to have a longer nose pair of scissors. And I always think the best time to buy them is before school starts, like when the kids go back to school, because they always have like a bunch of them. And normally they're on sale. So, anywho, so what we're going to do is we are going to cut out these 2 on one, just on one of the pieces. We're going to cut out these 2 squares. All right. So just, and you might find it better for you to, crease it. However, you can see where your line is. Oops, sorry. So I'm going to do it this way because I have a little bit of a better visual here. And I'm just going to cut up and I'm going to cut across. And you're going to do that on one side and then on the other side. And then I'm going to but if you guys need gift bags, I tell you this, and you have paper at home, this is an awesome way to use it. It is. And you can have a bunch of them put together, like for workers. I mean, who wouldn't? Now we're going to save our 2 little pieces here. I'm going to show you how we can use those too. All right, so this is what, let me turn it over. Let me get this one out of the way. Okay, so this is what you should have right here. Okay, you got your border and you got your 2 pieces right here. Now the only other thing we're going to do is take this piece here and we're just going to take a tad bit of an angle. So, when we want to give ourselves just a little give on each one of the sides, all right? So, take a little bit off, and there we go. So that's what we have. Now, all right, my trash can, there we go. Okay, so this one is all ready for us to use, so we're just going to set it off to the side, and now you're going to bring in your other piece here, because remember we said we're not going to this one we are not going to cut the 2 squares out. We're just going to cut along these edges here. Now before I do that, I just want to make sure, because I was thinking about this and I thought, do I have that right? Do I have the right places where I want to cut? And I'm thinking I don't. I'm thinking I want to cut I do. I want to, let me just I just want to double check before I start telling you where we're gonna cut. Yeah, I think that's, yeah, okay. All of a sudden, I was getting a little freaked out thinking I didn't have the right place. Okay, So you are going to cut, so this is our top, we're going to cut on these two lines right here. So we're going to cut to our score line and cut to our score line here, okay? So let me show you. So just crease this again. So we're going to take it here and we are going to cut right along this edge up to that first score line there. Oops. Right there. And then we're going to do the exact same on this side. We're just going to go up and we are going to go right there. All right. So now you have these two little flaps. And for whatever reason, that was just totally like freaking me out as far as how I was going to do that. So, all right. So is everybody there? We will. All right. So now what we're going to do is I want you guys to take your two pieces and you're just going to lay them next to each other. Now, when I first did this, I was like, well, how do I it's kind of hard to see on the pattern paper. So this is what you need to do. You need to make sure that your edges here are lined up and the ones at the bottom. Okay, so you want to make sure that this, and by lining up, I just mean that they're even here and they're even at the bottom. All right, and all you're going to do is you're going to flip up this piece here and you're going to add adhesive. Okay, so it's the one that's by itself and you're just going to add some adhesive to it. So again, you guys, all we did was we trimmed two lines on one and we took two blocks off another, and that was it. We've made two different score lines around our paper. Okay, so now we're going to just line them up here and we're going to fold this right over. Oops, I got glue on my hand there. Oops. And if you need to wiggle it, do a little wiggle action. And so now you have something that looks like this. All right, it's a very big, oops, let's move this out of our way. Okay, now all we have to do, I'm going to flip it back over, okay, because I want this to be the outside. Now what you're going to do is you're going to flip these two pieces in, okay, flip them in. I'm just going to make sure my score lines are good here. And you're going to add adhesive to these, and then you are going to bring these edges up. So now I want to make sure of something. So I'm going to add adhesive. I'm going to bring it up like this and glue here and glue here. Okay, so easiest way, put these down, add our adhesive right here. And we're going to add adhesive over here. Now, if you're using tear and tape, just make sure, because as soon as it sticks, it sticks. That is the other thing I do like a little bit about Tombow. But, and again, so let me push this down. So I'm just going to move that down, move this one down, and just make sure when you do, check the bottom and make sure right here you're getting a flush edge, okay? Just make sure it's nice and flush up against there. You get a nice clean edge, okay? So I'm just gonna double check mine. And now those are nice and glued together, okay? So now we have one more that we need to glue down. Now, what I wanna tell you is, and again, this is just a personal preference, but in order to cover our seam here, what we're actually going to do now is we're going to take our two pieces here. Oops. Okay, you're going to take your two, and they look like they're your outside pieces, right? But we're going to put adhesive all over these, and then we're going to tuck those inside. And the reason we're going to put them inside is because then we get that nice clean edge on the inside of our box. Okay, So all you're going to do is take these two sides and do the same exact thing. You're just going to add your adhesive all along the edge here. So again, you guys could, you know, make these for the postman, UPS driver. You could fill it with just a couple little treats or snacks. Take them to coworkers, church function, you know, whatever you might belong to or go to. Now I'm just going to put these down in, okay? And then it should kind of sit almost to the bottom. And again, now what you're going to do is just make sure you get those sides nice and lined up. You want that nice crease on both sides. Now what you can also do is I'm just going to set it down here like this and just run my hand through it. You could do, take your bone folder and just kind of wiggle it back and forth. And that will also just allow the adhesive to kind of adhere. You just want to make sure you don't go bang against the sides because then it'll take it apart, right? I've done that, you guys. And look at that. We now have this cute, now we're not done with it, obviously, right? Because we don't have handles and it's still kind of a square box. But even this, I think, oh, if you guys did like a little cookie exchange, you know, when you wanted to give your cookies in something like this, wouldn't that be just adorable? And if you were concerned that the bottom is not strong enough, you can always take, in all the Stampin' Up! Paper, here, I got this right here. You get this like piece of chipboard. You could take that chipboard and cut it if you wanted to and put it at the bottom. So whatever you choose to do. All right, so here we are. We got our nice bag. Now what we're gonna do is we wanna kind of bring in the sides, okay? So we want to make sure that our adhesive is nice and completed. So all you're going to do is you're going to, if you can see this here, you're going to take your fingers there and you are just going to bend it until you bring these sides together, okay? Now it's going to be very, very stiff, and that's okay. That's how you know it's kind of a nice sturdy bag. And so just little by little. Now we are not going all the way down to the bottom, okay? Just kind of to that top part there. All right, that's all we really want to do because we want to be able to close it and it's cinched shut. So that's about it, just going right about there. So you're just going to take your finger, and when you do that, you'll see it almost just automatically collapses in the right spot. And there we go. Okay, so now we're ready to put our handles on. So if you don't have ribbon, go find some ribbon. Now I'm using this green. I'm not super sure that I like that color. I think I want some red, but the red I have is pretty wide. But you know what? I might try. Hang on. Okay, let me see. We all use, I don't know, why not? Let's try. That looks like cherry cobbler. So again, you guys, I'm just trying to use up some of my stash. Anybody have do you think one looks better than the other? I don't know. I kind of like that gold in there. I don't know. What do you think? Okay, I think I'm just going to use the green. So I like the red, but I'm going to use the green. So now what we're going to do is, one of the other things I said you need was a hole punch. So now you can do this one of two ways. You can use a hole punch, and because it's a good little size hole. You can also use the really sharp end of your take your pick tool, and it is extremely sharp because I did this the other day, and it will go right through your paper. So on this one, I just used my take your pick tool. So it looks a little unfinished, but I felt like it closed shut better. So I'm not sure what will happen if I use this. This might just be a little too big, but I wanted to let you know that if you have one, you can punch the hole. But if you don't, and you have a take your pick tool, I would use this one instead. So what we're gonna do is you're just gonna hold down both ends, and you want to be in, you don't wanna do it on this side, you wanna be inside the flaps. Can you guys see that? So you're gonna punch your hole somewhere in between this area here. So what I did was I found a spot that was similar. So for this one, I would probably go one bulb over, and over here I would go about one bulb over. All right, because that way I'm away from the edge. So I'm gonna go about right here and just take your pick tool and run it right through both sides. Watch your fingers, okay? Like that. And then I'm gonna go over here and do the exact same thing. Go across. Again, it's right about here. And I gotta tell you guys, no one's gonna be looking and saying, oh, those handles are way off. Do you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be too impressed with this beautiful bag that you have. So don't get too, you know, freaked out about it. And then just poke that through a couple times. Again, if you don't have this, you might have something else that's really sharp that will work perfectly fine. And then on the other side, now I'm gonna go and kind of push this through to get maybe a little bit more of that paper through. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we're gonna take our ribbon. So just punch your holes through, and now you've got all 4 that you need. And I am gonna do one thing different on our bag here that I did not do, and I think I can do it, that I didn't do on the other one. So, all right, so now all you're gonna do is you're gonna take your ribbon and you're just gonna feed it through that little hole that you made. Now, if you're having trouble feeding it through, you literally can take your pick tool and poke it through. So I can take my take your pick tool now, and I can punch that piece of ribbon through the hole like that. And then I can always trim off that little piece if it's frayed or something. Okay. Now you'll also know that I still have the ribbon attached to the spool because I don't know exactly how much I'm going to need. All right. So we don't want to have to worry about that. And then I'm just going to literally, I'm taking that one piece of ribbon. Oops. Let me get it over here. And I'm just, again, now I'm taking this same piece, and I'm going to just double it up a little bit there. And now I'm just going to run it through the next hole. So what I find is, if you guys can see that, I get a little bit of a corner of it, and then it goes right through. This is where I think if you had a bigger hole, it would maybe be a little better, but, you know. All right. Now what I'm going to do, same thing. Now I'm just going to loop over here on this side. And same thing, take your pick tool. Now I can take this and run it through this side, and my knot will be on the outside of the bag. Or at this point now, I feel like I have enough ribbon here, and I'm going to go ahead and take this piece and I'm going to cut it. Okay. And I'm going to take this now and run it on this side. Okay. So I'm still, so I could take this and run it through here, and the knot will be on the outside. But in this case, I want the knot this time to be on the inside. Let me show you what I mean here. So on this one, see how the knot is on the outside? Not a huge deal because I put the tag by it. So it was not like a big to-do, but just in case you didn't want it on the outside. So I'm just going to try this, something new. All right, we'll see if it works. I don't know. All right, so again, we're just going to feed this piece of ribbon through. So while we're doing this, so let me tell you guys, so, you know, I've gone all my little journey of losing weight here. It has been just such a challenge and so hard for me because I've made it hard, you know, not blaming anybody there. Anyhow, so I am still working through my challenges. Now, one of the things, you guys, is I've noticed my ribbon's gotten a little tangled. Well, once I tie it, I can't fix that. So just make sure you fix it so that it's, you know, kind of straight in the way you want it. And then you're just going to take your edges, check your handles for the length that you want them, okay? So we haven't tied our knot yet, but check to see where you want those handles to be. And then decide where you want to tie that knot, okay? So I have a lot of room here, so I'm going to tie it pretty far down, okay? So all you're doing is inside your bag is you're tying that knot and make it nice and tight. And then you're just going to trim off that edge, okay? But just make sure you have it nice and tight. And then when you do, if you just pull on those handles, oops, sorry, let me get them pulled right, there we go. If I just pull on those handles, it's gonna close right up. Can you guys see that? And you know what I just noticed is, let's see. Yeah, you know what, guys? Well, it's closing. Yeah, here we go. I do notice the knot being on the inside is causing me a little bit of a challenge. So you know what? Give me a minute. So I'm going to just, I'm going to cut this because that's fine. Let's just see. I feel like it wasn't closing as well. So I'm going to take one side out. I'm going to take this side and put it through again. Now, if you did yours, that's, you know, don't feel like you have to change it. I just want to see. I'll experiment for you, okay? Let me get it down in this little hole here. It was just catching ever so slightly, okay? Nothing big, nothing dramatic, but I'm just going to take it. My handles will be a little bit shorter on this bag now. So anyhow, I have been a little stressed, not, you know, nothing, and I just find that I, you know, eat more when I'm stressed. Okay, here we go. Now, okay, so now we have our knot. Well, we want our knot, like, I don't want it to show as much. So I just got to get my handles correct. And now, oh, much better. Much better. And you guys should find then, when you pull those up, that it closes up your bag. Now this one seems to be a little bit better. And you know what I wonder is, so this one still closes for sure. It's just a different ribbon. So it could be the ribbon. It could be this one's a little closer to the top, where this one's a little further down. Do you see that? So maybe make it just a little bit further down if you make another one, or these are a little bit higher up, but they still close, which is nice. So what do you guys think? Isn't that, oh, I love it, I love it. So, and then when someone opens it, they can open it, move the ribbon out of the way, and there you have a beautiful, beautiful little bag. I love it, and it's nice and sturdy. All right. Yep, I like it. I like it. And then, you know, I told you guys you have these two little pieces of paper here. So what you could do is you could just cut them down, glue them together. You could take just one of them, but you could make, put a little hole in here, and then you could actually attach it to the side of your bag and make a beautiful gift card. So let me just show you, because then I'm going to show you how to make, I want to show you another card, but that's what I did on this one. So on this one, I took those same two pieces that we had as scraps. I just adhered them at the top, and then I put a piece of white cardstock in between. So it's like a little booklet, but you could write a message, you could stamp something in there, and it's right on your bag. And then I just tied it on. I made a hole, I punched out a hole or made a hole on this one. And then I tied it with some twine directly to the bag. So I thought that was just a great way, one, to use those scraps. And I've used everything out of those two pieces of designer series paper. And you got this beautiful bag. I mean, if you have a pack of paper you haven't used, you could get 6 bags out of it. So if you have some Christmas paper that you haven't used yet, this is awesome. It really is. And it, you know, and it closes. So you could just put like one piece of tissue paper. I don't know about you guys, but at our house, I don't know why, tissue paper is somebody could make a lot of money if they would buy some tissue paper and not share it with the rest of the family, because we always seem to run out of it. I don't know why we always run out, but we do. So, all right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was fun. All right. So let me now, we are going to make a card, and I am going to, let me grab, I have everything already cut. But I'm trying to think, well, that's all right. I can just pull everything in. Let's see real quickly what I had a sheet that just had the measurements on it, and I just wanted to share those as I go through it with you, so it makes it a little bit easier. I already have everything cut, so we can go through it. All right. So I'm using so this is just a Christmas card, right? We're right by Christmas, so I thought, oh, you know, we're doing bags, but I wanted to show you, again, a way to make some Christmas cards that you could share with maybe if you haven't finished yours for family. This is a nice, simple card, or if you have some that you maybe want to make for, you know, a retirement community, a nursing home, or people in the hospital. This is just a great way to use up those supplies. All right, so we are using soft sea foam, and this is just 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Okay, so typical half sheet of cardstock. That's all this is. And then this piece here is another piece of soft sea foam, and this is 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. All right, and we are literally going to layer this on here with dimensionals, but we're not going to do that quite yet. We're going to keep that. Then you're going to have a piece of designer series paper. Now you can pick, again, these are like scraps. That's what's nice about them, right? You guys get a couple of these scraps together and you can make a beautiful card. So one is 2 1/4 by 3 inches, and the other one is 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. So see, it's just a little bit taller than the other one. And then you just need some scraps, and all I did was I stamped this in basic gray, and it's out of the Rocking Horse stamp set, and I just stamped the horse. I just wasn't sure what color I was going to use, if I should use the brown, this is on pecan pie, or if I should use white, and then I'll color it in. So either way, right? So let's go ahead though and put these down. So what we're going to do is we are going to put this paper, you're just going to put one kind of straight, and the other one's going to kind of fit at an angle on the other piece. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're just going to layer those. In a way, I guess I would layer them is you could line up these points in the corner like that. All right. So you're just going to put them on there. It's not, there's no special, oops, make sure I adhere it on the right side, right? You know, it's funny. So today you guys was on stage with Stampin' Up. So I loved it. I went, and I'm so glad I did. It was a lot of fun. And if you have never been and you are a demonstrator watching this, or if you are a customer, another great reason to just become part of that community. It really is fun. So this was on stage at home, and it was just, it was so fun. Anyhow, so, you know, you get some instructions to make some cards that you can do with them while they're making. And I was so excited. I was like, oh, I got it all right. And then I literally put down the one side of my card and I put it on backwards. So I was like, Well, that's nice. So I was able to peel it off and, you know, and make it, you know, change it. But I just thought, well, that's kind of funny. So that's all we did. We took those two scraps and we just kind of put them at a little bit of an angle there. All right. So now what we're going to do is, I probably should have done this first. We're going to stamp Merry Christmas at the bottom of this piece here. So I'm going to grab my stamp set. So again, super simple card. You could cut out all these pieces and then go back and then glue them all down. And then another time you could do your stamping and coloring, whatever you would like. All right, so I'm going to take Merry Christmas here. And I am just going to stamp it, just so you guys know, I'm stamping it right below this this part that I just did here on. And I want to get my foam mat. Remember, right? Because these are photopolymer and they need that extra little cushion. All right, so there we go. So we will use, I'm going to use Shaded Spruce. Do you guys hear the hesitancy in my voice? I think this is good. I don't know. I think the last time I used this, I had it so inked up that it turned out to be a blob. I think this is going to be good though. All right, so we're just going to make sure, sorry, my head's going to be in the way just for a second. Make sure it's straight and stamp that right down. Yay! All right, and there we go. So now we're going to take our horse and we're going to put it right here. I am going to color it a little bit with some Stampin' blends. I think I like it better than the brown one, the brown horse. So we're going to do white. And I brought in some Stampin' blend markers. Now, I'm going to be like really quick about this. So we're not going to do anything like, I'm not going to do the whole horse here, just so you know. And I'm certainly not, because it looks like my light gray is about bitten the dust here. So speaking of that, I'll tell you guys right now. So Stampin' Up, you know, they're having their big sale the 14th through the 16th. So ribbon, and it's all in the annual catalog, so make sure you know that. So it's product that's in the annual catalog, not the mini, not like the Christmas catalog, I guess I would refer to it as. There's nothing in there. But if you, okay, so now we're just gonna, this is like light smoky slate, and I'm just gonna add like a little bit of color to the back of this, because nobody wants to sit here and watch me, you know, color. So I'm just adding a little bit of, more like just a little bit of a shadow kind of effect, okay? You can do whatever. I'm just gonna add a little bit of, we'll just see what we get here. And it might be I have to color the whole thing. Anyhow, so the sale starts the 14th, which I think is Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday, right? Wednesday? Anyhow, but I will tell you guys, they've already said that things will, if they sell out, it's like they're never going to have anything back in time for the sale. But, so I'm kind of telling you so that if there is something you want, I would do a little checking up and seeing what you have, get your friends together and see what they want, because so the ribbon in the annual catalog, it says ribbon and trim. So let me tell you this, it doesn't say twine, which I'll tell you, if you can get the twine, the linen or thread, the linen thread, if you can get that on sale, that's like a no-brainer, in my opinion. I would be looking to get that if I were, I mean, I'm going to try to get some if it's on sale. I don't know if it is or not. That's the kicker. I'm not sure if that specific thing is on sale, but if it is, I'm absolutely gonna get some, because it's 10% off. it's like, what a deal, right? So I absolutely would get that. The other one that's so that's the trim, and then you've got ink, and it's all ink. It's blends, ink pads, ink refills, markers, and those are 15% off. So if you're a demonstrator, let me tell you how to calculate it. So if you're a demonstrator, you are going to get the 15% off. So you would take $10 minus 15, okay? Minus 15%. So that's $8.50, right? Then on the $8.50, you take your discount of 20 or 25%. Whether if you're silver, or sorry, if you're bronze, it's 20. If you're bronze elite, it's 25. And you get that in addition to whatever is on sale. Okay, so that's a great deal, right? Okay, so now let's talk about paper, like cardstock paper. Cardstock paper, and I'm just going to do this part here, you guys, and then I think I'll do that other part in green and be done. I don't know that I probably should do the whole thing in gray, but just to save time, because nobody wants to sit here and watch me color. So I'm just going to do this little part here in green, and then we'll be done. So anyhow, cardstock is 20% off. So you just think about that. So you're going to pay. So again, back to our analogy, right? So it's $10 for a pack of cardstock. So you're going to get 20% off. So that's $8. Then you take the $8 and then you get another 20% off because you're a demonstrator. You're paying $6.40. So, and then remember that you're also going to save on shipping because it costs less. So you can get more for that initial like $75. So again, if you have friends, family, whatever, it is just such a great time to stock up, you know, for all the things, all the projects you might want to do. All right, there's my horse. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this little guy up on some dimensionals. And then we will be done. Now, I will tell you, I might go back and fill that little guy in. I don't know that I like how it's, excuse me. And I'm going to use some mini dimensionals here because I don't want the bottom of the horse here to sag. But the other ones are too big. I don't think they'll fit quite right in there. Okay, so there we go. Anyhow, it is quite a deal if you're a demonstrator. It's just something to think about. And I'm not, you know, please, I hope no one thinks I'm ever trying to push. But I just want to make you aware because I know when I first started as a demonstrator, I don't think I was aware. I mean, my upline, she's awesome, and she does such a great job communicating. I just don't think I ever really understood certain things. You know, I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds good. But you save so much on the shipping and that kind of thing. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to take my card. I'm going to put my little horse right in the center there. And now I'm going to bring this over, and I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals as well. And looks like I spilled some coffee or something on my dimensionals there. All right, I think that will be enough. Yep, there we go. All right, so this is what I did earlier. You guys, the card was laying this way and it opened up like that instead of this way. All right, so now we're just going to put this in. Oh, I wanted to do one more thing. Okay, before I do that, I want to show you, I wanted to take another one of these stamps and create some background. So I was going to take these little presents here. So we're just going to stamp some of those in soft seafoam. So, and I forgot, I got to go grab the soft seafoam. It's just right around the table. So let me grab that. And we will, so this is just going to add a little more, just a little more dimension. And hopefully, because that ink pad looks pretty light, but that's okay. And we're just going to rotate it, okay? Even though some of these are going to be, you know, hidden, right? It just gives us an opportunity to, they don't have to be perfect, right? We'll have some of them go off the edge a little bit. And then that way it doesn't look so, you know, like it was planned a certain way, unless that's the pattern you're trying to come up with. So now when we put this over it, you guys can see how we just have these little presents that peek out of the corners. And there you have it. There is our card. I love it. I like it. I do think I'll paint the rest of my horse gray. I'm confessing. So there you have it, guys. I have this little bow I was going to put on here, but I don't think, I think we'll skip that. I like it just the way it is. So, wow, we did all kinds of stuff today. So here is our card. And here is the bag that we made. So look at that. I mean, who would not enjoy getting a nice card and a little gift in here? And remember, guys, you can make these in a variety of sizes. So I will post, so right after I hang up, I'll go ahead and, or hang up, hello. After we stop the video, I will go right out and at least put those measurements, and that way you have them. If you want to make something that's even smaller than the ones that we did today, okay, because we really talked about the 6-inch, and then we have the 12-inch. So, all right, guys, thanks much for joining, and we will talk to you later. Have a great day tomorrow. Bye.